Welcome back to talknorth.com. Thank you for listening. If you can, please download before you listen. It helps our business. I'd also like to thank our producer, Brandon Morton, and let you know if you'd like to sponsor this program or any of the programs on the network, you can reach me at jsouhan47@gmail.com. Talknorth.com is powered by Bite Squad. Go to bitesquad.com or download their app. Get food to your door in minutes. Use the promo code TALKNORTH to get your first delivery free. Talk North gets you your first delivery free. It's another edition of Where in the World is Cheryl Reeve? We'll answer that question shortly. This is the Cheryl Reeve Show, part of the talknorth.com podcast network. You hear some ambient noise because Cheryl has stepped away from a Team USA party to do this show, which we appreciate. Let me make my introductions. Brandon Morton is our producer. Thanks to Successful Marketing Group, successfulmarketinggroup.com, for their sponsorship. We'll tell you more about their business and how they interact with Cheryl Reeve later on. Also, we have a new sponsor, Bite Squad. Go to bitesquad.com, download their app, use the promo code TALKNORTH to get your first delivery free. And listen, we had a lot of people come out to the restaurant to see this show. A lot of people went out of their way and spent a lot of money to spend time with us live. We're going to ask you to kind of do the same thing in your home. Listen to this podcast, do us a favor, order Bite Squad, use the promo code TALKNORTH, one word. You will get your first delivery free, and you'll be doing the network and this show a big favor. We do appreciate all of our listeners. Cheryl, where are you?
Well, I'm in downtown La Laguna, it's called. It's an area of Tenerife, one of the Canary Islands, off the coast of Africa, actually. It's a Spain country. The I guess if you call it the rights or a colony, whatever, but it is Spain run, and lots of Espanol. I had some in high school and I had some in college, and it's sure come in handy. And we finished pool play last night. We ended up finishing up 3-0 in pool play, and we had a chance to follow the play-in games today. And now the field is set for going forward to the quarterfinals and then on to the medal rounds.
Awesome. What have you learned about your team?
Well, our team is really interesting. It's the best way to describe. We are, when we talk about positionless basketball, I think our team, probably exemplifies that. We have some players that we're used to having a part of USA basketball, namely 4 links players. That's a third of the team that has changed. In addition to make a catching's retirement, so we look different, and we took the approach in the final roster, that it really wasn't about position. Take the best basketball players who also embody USA basketball, which is team first, country first, win the gold, and regardless of what your role is, and we have a tremendous mix of great people who are multi-talented. And so our front line is awfully loaded, but we have a couple of players that are sacrificing maybe their comfort level in traditionally being maybe a power forward for their team. For example, Brianna Stewart, Lena Deladon, Morgan Tuck, who have throughout their careers all have played some small forward, but they're spending way more time there. Our front line in this league, if you look around the league, it's just really, really good. And so the guard play for USA basketball isn't as deep as it has been in years past. Obviously, you have Sue and you have Diana Taurasi. And then we've got some young guns. We've got a Kelsey Plum, who was a number 1 pick a couple years ago, who had a nice season in Vegas. And it's just really growing and growing and growing. And she's done well. And Lasia Clarendon has made the most of the opportunities that she's created for herself. And so we're a good team. We look a lot different than maybe in years past, but that's okay. Different isn't bad. And like I said, we're 3-0. We've scored for the first time, I believe I saw in 65 years. I think that's right. That we've scored But actually, no, I'm sorry, not 65. It's the first time ever in full play for a USA basketball team, women's team, to score 100 on 2 occasions. So we put points on the board. The thing that we're trying to shore up is our defense. We're giving up more points than what we would like to. That's what we're focusing on.
Are you specializing on either offense or defense or anything in your role this year?
I've really locked in on post play. I'm no dummy. Where the talent is, that's where I go. No, it just kind of worked out. I did the same thing in Istanbul for the 2014 Worlds and Rio. It just works out, that way with the staff that we have. And so I have really focused on post play, but at the same time, I'm a guard, so I kind of get my, get my points in, with like a Kelsey Plum, who I think needs, to be told, some small things that can really help her exist on the court. These are the best players in the world, obviously, right? This has been really tremendous to watch. Doesn't matter which country that's here. You make one wrong move and they're going to make you pay. They're all good enough to make you pay. And so I think it's been a tremendous growing experience for someone like a Kelsey Plum and Lacey Clarendon, who it's their first experience with the national team. And but make no mistake about it, it's Sue and Diana's team. But they will tell you they need these young players. Asia Wilson has really stood out to be somebody that I just can't believe that Dawn Staley has not spent a college season without Asia Wilson yet. That it seems so long ago that Asia was drafted, and she had obviously a tremendous WNBA season, being the Rookie of the Year. And now she's on USA Basketball and is dominating. She's been a big part of our success. And sorry, it just got a little bit louder.
And what's this? By the way, what's this party for? Is it just a general gathering, or is it?
We get together for dinner a lot with the group, and it's been a little bit harder because of the schedule. We do a lot of scouting, and so today was a day that we were able to have off. So we got together as a coaching staff and our families, and so it was just a chance to get together before the real thing starts. With the quarterfinals on Friday. So we'll play 3 days in a row on Friday. So just a nice night to relax. We didn't have any practice. It was the first full day off that we've had in quite some time. So the families and the players got to get out and see a little bit of the island, and we topped it off with a nice dinner party here.
You and Plum needling each other at all?
Oh yeah, I gave it to her. And she's like, that's Bill. And I said, well, that's what I told everybody. I know exactly where you got it from. And she, that's not what I meant, but it's all in good fun. And she says from now on, she's just going to say no comment. Young player that has to learn, I think.
My favorite thing about you, Cheryl, is that you never say no comment. You always tell us what you think. But I'm going to ask you, after I go ahead, what were you going to say? Something? Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I just think that's like the hardest thing, because, it's like no comment, but then, you just want to say something to follow it up. So you might as well just answer.
I once asked Bud Selig a question. He said, off the record, no comment, which is like a belt and suspenders kind of answer, Oh,
I love it. I might try that one.
Yeah, no kidding. Off the record, no comment. So we never spoke. I don't exist, is what he was trying to say. I'm gonna ask you a question you may want to say no comment to. I'm gonna give you a second to think about it while I thank Gloria Ramsey and Successful Marketing Group. I'm gonna ask you about Jimmy Butler to see if you have anything to say about him. But first, let me thank Gloria Ramsey's company, Successful Marketing Group, another great Minnesota company that sponsors Talk North. You want to provide the best service you can, and marketing is vital to build your business, but it's also overwhelming and confusing. Successful Marketing Group is passionately committed to businesses, helping them get found, get customers, and build dreams. We understand that we understand your problems and truly want to help you be successful, providing digital marketing packages with proven results. Go to successfulmarketinggroup.com/Cheryl Reeve for a free audit and analysis of your business and what you need. And as I said before, the thing I like about Gloria, she thinks like a writer. She's not going to give you the same old messaging. She's going to be able to find something that helps you connect with exactly the people you need to connect with to attract them to your business. So successfulmarketinggroup.com/Cheryl Cheryl Reeve. For some reason, I always have trouble saying the word slash. So do you have any thoughts on the Jimmy Butler saga on the other side of the Lynx Wolves organization?
Well, of course I do, I preface it with the idea that I'm not on the inside, so I'm not privy to all the information. And I think that's maybe the hardest thing is as a coach and a general manager, I have far more information than the media that reports on the situation. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's first and foremost. And so without all the information, I guess we should all be careful. I know we all think we have the scoop and we all think we know, we all have sources, but we all don't know. Only Jimmy and Coach Tibbs knows exactly what the situation is. But I can tell you, just from afar, and afar meaning across the water, and just reading all the articles, and I've been in touch, with people at the organization, and I think for me, again, I don't have all the details of when this started, but it's incredibly disappointing. For me, being a fan of Jimmy Butler, that I just can't fathom doing that to an organization that I care about, yep. To a coach that I care about yep. deeply, as it seemed. And so what comes to mind for me is when I think about our own players, our own Lynx players, and, some of the challenges through the years, and what you learn as a coach, general manager, a person in a position where you're managing people, is that people are going to disappoint you. They really are, and you have to expect that. You hope that something like this never happens to you, but it's going to somewhere along the line. People are going to disappoint you, and I would put this in that category of a very disappointing situation. I feel bad mostly for Glenn Taylor, because this is a guy who really puts his heart and soul into not just the basketball side of things, but he cares. He cares a lot about the Wolves players and the Lynx players as people. And he wants the very best for them. And so, it's disappointing, I think, to see how this is playing out. And hopefully this will be, resolved soon, and everybody can get about the business of, being a successful franchise for Glenn Taylor.
Yeah, I know that the mass reaction has been to get angry at Tom Thibodeau, and I understand that. Fans are upset that what looked like a plan is falling apart right before our eyes. But I have to admit, at a gut level, my initial reaction was, God, Jimmy Butler came here and told everybody all he cares about is winning, and now he's leaving a coach he respects, a very talented roster that really was on our way to a third seed last year before Jimmy got hurt, to just go someplace else. And I understand all these players. Go ahead.
And guys that are his, like a Taj Gibson, this is a very level-headed person. And so to catch him off guard, and so you're leaving more than just a franchise. You're leaving, these are lifelong friends, and these are relationships that it just doesn't make sense. It's kind of befuddling, I think. The whole situation of where this came from, and I'm just not buying that there was communication prior to this. Maybe was it. He wasn't sure he was going to re-sign. Sure, that's a possibility. But the demanding of a trade, I don't think he made himself clear. There's just no way that you would want this if you are the coach and general manager, the president of basketball operations. You just wouldn't allow this to happen. And I just don't see how you can walk out on your teammates, how you can do this at this time to a franchise. It's incredibly disappointing, and frankly, I put it in the category of highly selfish.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And the other aspect of this is, if you want to project yourself as a great leader, and I think Jimmy wants that adjective to be attached to him, you don't take really talented young players and just kind of berate them and leave. You make them better.
That's what great leaders do.
Yeah, I think if you're a great leader, you want to take part in Karl Anthony Towns developing into one of the 5 best players in the league, not just find a flaw, berate him for it, and leave.
Right, and I look at our own players, and I think Lindsay Whalen grew into a leader, and she learned what kind of leader she wanted to be based on maybe how some veterans treated her as a young player, and she'll tell you that when she went to Connecticut, there were some strong voices that didn't necessarily treat her very well. Mm-hmm. And so she wanted to be a different kind of a leader. And I think the best of leaders bring out the best in those around them, that it's not about them. And it's more about, trying to get the person that you're playing